And I do want to segue a little bit because I know you're the payment processing guy. But speaking of making sure you're getting the evidence of transaction, typically when most people purchase cannabis, the evidence of the transaction is the euphoric feeling, right?
And it's probably gone as they're leaving the facility, but that is a true statement. I will, as a disclaimer, I am in the cannabis payment processing business. I'm the president of a couple small companies, and one of them does cannabis payment processing. And just let's start with the legal disclaimer. Credit card transaction processing in the cannabis space is not allowed. The card brands have made that very clear. You cannot use credit cards at a dispensary to purchase cannabis. There will be a lot of players that say, well, we'll work the way around that. It is not something that you can do at this time. You have to use cash or a cash-like instrument to pay for cannabis, because right now, Visa and MasterCard said, look, until the federal laws, which may be changing here pretty soon, like maybe in the next 48 hours, until the laws change, until it's federally legal, we're not going to allow it, because their transactions cross state lines. And if you look at the banking infrastructure, the nature of moving funds from state to state technically violates federal banking law. You've engaged in money laundering, even if it's a legitimate transaction, and a lot of the major money center banks won't touch it for that reason.
Okay. All right. So when you say a cash-like instrument, they're not making a distinguishment between a credit card and a debit card.
True statement. Yep, that is true.
Okay. So what should somebody be aware of? So is this risky for the vendors or risky for the processors?
Sadly, it's risky for everybody in the chain because it's still not federally legal. That's the first issue. It's state legal, typically working with a state credit union or a state level bank. There are some larger banks, not the major money players, and I'm not going to mention any names. They typically don't want to touch it because of reputational risk. They don't want to be associated at this time with cannabis payments, but there are a lot of industrially funded banks and smaller community banks, local state banks, that are comfortable with it. There's a revenue stream to be made on it. Those merchants need support. So the dispensaries will many times be banked locally within a state and will do their processing locally within a state. So we spot ATMs at facilities for them. We help them with transactions that then can qualify appropriately the way it works right now. And many of them will accept cash for those transactions. Difficult. Cash pickup is harder, but at the end of the day, now I'll make my fun statement. If it reschedules to level 3, which everybody is all excited about, it's on the Hill right now. It may happen. It may not. You get everybody on both sides of the fence saying one way or the other. It doesn't change the federal illegality of cannabis. So you still have a banking issue, even if it goes to Schedule 3. What you do by going to Schedule 3 is you open it up. It's going to be the Wild West again to everybody who thinks they can do whatever they want until the major card brands, and I won't mention the big two, but it's all of them, until the major card brands actually come out with a statement that says, based on this ruling, we now accept credit cards. It still does not mean you can accept credit cards at a dispensary level, because level 3 is still a Schedule 3 drug. It's not descheduled. It's just rescheduled to Schedule 3. It just opens it up for a lot of the other players. And then we've also had the recent, I think that was signed, if I'm not mistaken, and someone who knows this will correct you in the comments after the show. But we recently, the feds said that hemp-derived THC products are being federally banned. Now, I don't know where that stood because I have been traveling for the past couple of weeks. But that's another one that if you look at the nature of the rescheduling, they're looking to adjust some of this because it is in what I would class as an emerging market. It's not like there isn't a consumer and a business model to be made for this. It's just been made very, very difficult. It's like everybody wants it to just go away. Maybe if we just make it really, really hard for them, it'll just go away. Well, that's not happening.
Oh, yeah, it's not going away. Figuratively, weeds don't go away in the garden. You just have to keep plucking them, right? And smoking them, I guess. So how do you make it if these dispensaries aren't able to use cash-like ways
credit
of payment?
Card instrument. They use cash-like instruments. Here's what I'll say on that one. It's not a sales pitch, but anybody wants to know how that happens, they can reach out to you, reach out to me, and we can certainly talk about that. because that's something it's not that I don't talk about it in the open, in the clear. It's not something that dispensaries have to handle this. And what we try to do is we try to help them with their cash handling to make sure it's appropriately done. And for the non-credit card instruments that we use, those are things that we talk. It depends on the state. It depends on the dispensary. It depends on their level of risk tolerance.